All right, everybody, good morning. It is a super rare, maybe the first inside inside version of the Love Vibration. What are we? Day 18, I believe. Yeah. Oh, and it is the 4th of July, so happy holiday if you celebrate. Um so I'm just chilling here with my homie. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but I'm just chilling with him. Yo, Deltarune Chapter 5. I barely scratch the surface on Deltarune Chapter 5. I want to play it, but I haven't had a day off or like any chance to do that in like so long. But so I had a realization recently, and that realization is I have not had one bad day since I started doing affirmations over a month ago. Holy shnikes. Like, seriously. I recognize this. I'm like, wait a second. I like don't even have bad days anymore. Hold on. This looks like it's clipping a little bit, but I don't know. I think we're good. Um yeah. So I started doing affirmations June 2nd, which is the day that Prince E released his video. I forget what it was called, but it's about, reprogramming your mind, erasing the old version of yourself. He released that on June 2nd, and literally that day, I started with my first ever affirmation, which is, I am killing it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and then more just came to me. And I started doing affirmations that day, right then and there. I haven't had one bad day since. I've had struggles. I've had, rough days, but none of them were bad days. I didn't, and in fact, the days when I struggled the most, I would be, driving home from work or whatever was occurring, and I would say, that was a great day because I learned something, Because remember, when we're in our comfort zone and nothing's going wrong, that's awesome and everything. But like we're we're not able to grow from that. So, you know, through a day where I struggle, a day where I'm tested, that's not a bad day. I don't consider it a bad day anymore. Like I used to. I used to be like, oh, this happened to me and I didn't like it. And, it put me in a bad mood and this and that. What a bad day I just had. What a bad life. That was the old thinking. Now that I'm doing affirmations, and it's always on my mind to, I'm so conscious of, what state I'm in, since I've been, the goal is to vibrate high, obviously we vibrate high around here, folks. Um, that's the goal, vibrate high. So when something happens and I am starting to feel a bit lower in my spiritual vibration, I'll recognize it and I'll counter it. I'll tell myself I feel amazingly incredible. Um, no matter what, like this morning, for example, I didn't get as much sleep last night as I would hope. Truth be told, yesterday was exhausting at work. Exhausting. Like there were times where I thought I was going to pass out or vomit or like both at the same time. It's just, I've been working a lot of 6-day weeks. This is my third day working 6 days in a row. My days off have been, busy. So it's like I haven't rested in like forever, it feels. But you know what? I tell myself I'm full of energy, that, you know what I'm saying, I am so full of energy that batteries put me inside of them to get their energy. You know what I'm saying? And this helps me. Saying crazy stuff like that helps me get through the day. It doesn't make me feel like I'm 100% great, but it helps. It helps a bit. And any form of improvement at the time when you need it is great. Any. It's like, even if you feel just slightly better, it's like, hey, you know what? I feel slightly better than I just did. That's great. That is the goal. You know, We use these affirmations so that they kick in when we need it, so they could help us change, become the character we want to be. Because, yes, we are actors. I'm an actor. You're an actor. I want to be a better character than I've been my whole life. And I'm becoming that. And I haven't had a bad day since I started this for a month now. This is brand new. But having a month go by this consistently for me is brand new. You know, so my history throughout my life is sometimes I'd be doing good and sometimes I wouldn't be. Um, but I don't remember ever having like a whole week or a whole couple weeks go by where I was like, man, everything's just, I'm feeling so consistent. Consistency was never my thing. But that's because I never practiced gratitude or anything daily. I would do it sometimes. I bought the current gratitude journal that I had like years ago. And in the beginning, I was consistent with it, every day, for like maybe a week, I would write in there. And then a couple days passed, and then I would, I'd forget. And then, I'd remember again, I'd do it for a day or two. But it was never like just part of my life. It was like something extra that I was doing. Um, and I could relate this to working out, When you first start working out, it might not be part of your life yet. It might be like, yeah, I live my life this way and I'm working out too. But eventually that becomes, no, it's just part of my life. I don't consider it extra. It's like I work out. That's just what I do. And that's how these affirmations and, practicing gratitude and becoming this, this character, this person, this greatest self of mine that I want to be. It is, it's not this extra thing I do anymore. It's like, this is just what I do. This is what I do every morning. It's just me, It's not, I live my life and, oh yeah, I also do affirmations. No, it's, I wake up, I do affirmations just as I brush my teeth and, whatever else. Um, yeah, yeah. Practice makes perfect. Um, that's why we do this stuff daily. It's practice. You never stop practicing. Like, does a professional, sports person ever stop practicing? No, because you gotta become great at it, Hardcore effort for hardcore results. I like results. I like results, and I understand that I need to put effort in to get those results, Because I've had a lifetime of effortless negative programming, it just happened, right from the start of my life. So now that I'm conscious, I need to put that effort in every single day, every single morning, right from the start to elevate myself, to higher my vibration, tell myself these affirmations, I'm killing it. I am made of pure love, just like everyone else. Everyone's my brother and sister. I love everybody, regardless of any differences. I have great connections and interactions with everyone every single day, telling myself this, becoming it, practicing it, every single day without fail, because it's just what I do. It's not extra. When I first started, yeah, it was something new to me, but now I've been doing it a month and it's just what I do. And, the results speak for themselves. Like, my family is like bugging out. They're like, yo, Bri, especially my brother recognizes this. My brother Jay. Shout out to Jay. What am I doing? Shout out to Jay Go. I love you. I love you. I was thinking about how much I love you. I have the best brother in the entire universe. I have the best mom in the entire universe. I have the best dad in the entire universe. And I love everybody. Just want to say I love everybody. I love you, my friend. But yo, check it. Like, so if you're stuck in a negative mindset, like I was, I added that to the channel name. It says the love vibration, and in I can't. Those things. The why can't I think of what that is? Well, but it says former negative guy. Cuz love vibration, no one really knows what that means yet. They will. But like it's a brand new channel, so I wanted to put that that I'm a former negative guy who now is not, so I don't know. I'm hoping that might attract people that it might be like, what's this all about? Whatever, whatever. If it's meant to come to me, it will. If people are drawn to this, they'll be drawn to it, straight up. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm gonna do this the rest of my life. It's gonna catch, because check it out. In like 20 years, like if if the world still exists, however long, people are gonna look back and be like, "Yo, this dude's been doing this for years, every single day. That's crazy." Um, I'm going to look back and be like, I started this when I was 43. I'm now X years old. Wow. I'm going to watch, we're only on day 18, we're only on this is brand new. This is I'm excited. I'm excited for myself. This is a brand new life. I really feel like I'm leveling up to the next level. I've leveled up. This is a big level up, big time. I've had level up in the past, slowly but surely, but sometimes it gets knocked down. But this is the most consistent I've been since like I was in rehab. That's kind of what it reminds me to. Excuse me. When I first got sober, I was filled with motivation, confidence, especially, in Teen Challenge Rehab where I went. It's a very long program. Most people, it's supposed to be like a around a 15-month program. You're there over a year. You live there and you just, you go through this program, and most people don't make it through. Most people, they leave after like certain amount of months. They're like, I can't take this. I stayed mostly because I was court ordered, because, I don't know if well, my backstory I tell you, but anyways, I was in jail, and I I got out of jail to go to this rehab. I was in jail for 5 weeks, and my ticket out was I agreed to go through this program fully and graduate it, and then my case would be dismissed. And I had felonies going on, so I was like, okay, I'll just do it. And regardless of that, I just want to say I almost left. Like that first couple of weeks, I almost left because I couldn't take it. It's a hardcore program. It's a Christian program too, and I'm not a Christian. I don't consider myself a Christian anymore. Although I do resonate with so much about Christianity, I can't call myself a Christian because certain beliefs I don't believe. So I don't believe in it fully, therefore I don't call myself a Christian. Even though, Jesus is like the example I want to be like, as a loving person. But so 15-month program, I wanted to leave, but I made it through. But towards the end of the program, once I started, really, after a year, I was doing incredible. First time I was ever sober in my life, clear-minded, full of hope, just doing great. And the new brothers that would come into the program, they would look up to me. And they'd be like, how'd you do it? And I'm like, wow, like, I'm like, I really am doing it. People recognize this in me, me and these new brothers coming in, there's no difference between us. I just happened to get there earlier, and now this is where I'm at. Same with anything, sobriety. It's like someone who has a year or two or whatever of sobriety, no different than someone who's still using. The only difference is they started earlier. But you'll get there. You know what I mean? You'll get there. If you hang in there and be consistent, you'll get to where you're going. You just gotta, consistency is everything. That's why daily affirmations. I haven't missed a day in 33 days now. My math, 32 or 33 days. June 2nd was when I started. So 4th of July. So like 32 days. I don't know. The point is, this consistency with the daily affirmations has been amazing for me. Haven't had a bad day since. I'm going to keep rolling with it. I'm going to keep posting videos. I'm going to keep live streaming my affirmations every single day. I'm going to post a vlog like this every single day. Um, it's helping me so much. As someone who's trying to connect with others, someone formerly very non sociable, just speaking my mind like this every single day, being able to articulate my words and have them flow out, getting in the flow state when it comes to conversation, this is the best thing ever for me. This is the best thing ever for me. And it's like it was there all along, a camera, everyone's got social media now. Everyone's an internet star, internet sensation, and so why couldn't I do that? I can, and I'm doing it, you know so Love Vibration, this channel is 18 days old. That's it. I just started it, and holy shnikes, it's just going to get better and better. And I realized this is just the tip of the iceberg. I started getting excited about that yesterday. I was like, as much as you've changed already, this is just the start. I could do anything. I could do anything. I can't wait to see where I'm going to go. I don't know how it's going to happen yet, but the vision is forming. It all starts with the vision. Visualize, I visualized, who do I want to be? What do I want to look like? How do I want to talk? How do I want to carry myself? When I was super depressed, I did start thinking about this, and it helped. You got to have the vision. Have that vision for yourself, It doesn't matter where you are now. Envision where you want to go. What does it look like? And then take the steps, put the work in and become that. There ain't nothing stopping you except yourself. All you got to do is start. That's all you have to do is just start, because from there you'll progress, but you cannot progress if you don't even start. So start right now. Start right now. Use this motivation. Start right now. Start right now. No more talking yourself out of it. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was thinking, and geez, I'll just add it to this video. As soon as I personally start saying, "Oh, I don't feel like doing that right now," that's when I know I have to do it. That's when I'm like, "Oh, that's the cue. You don't want to do it. You have to do it, like right now." So, tell you a little story. So I went to the park the other day to do pull-ups, and on the way home, and on my way to the park, I pass a different Big Y, and I know one of the managers that works there, and he was actually my manager for a little bit at the Big Y I currently work at. But so I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go visit Jimmy," and even though me and Jimmy, we never were like tight. Like I always thought he was cool, but like we never conversed much. But I was like, in the spirit of getting out of my comfort zone, I'm gonna visit Jimmy and just say hi. And so that was my thought on the way to the park. Um, so on my way back, after I'm leaving the park, no, I don't have enough time to see, because I remembered that. I was like, I don't have enough time to see Jimmy. Like I just want to go home. I'm tired. As soon as I started talking myself out of it, I was like, okay, well now you have to go. You have to go see if he's there and say hi. You have to, because that's the whole thing. We're pushing ourselves. We're recognizing where we went wrong in the past. For me, it was saying no to like everything and talking myself out of doing any sort of situation. And so I recognize that. I'm like, in the spirit of truly changing, I need to go visit. so I did. I stopped at Big Y on the way home and asked. He wasn't there, but I made the effort. I got out of my comfort zone. I pushed myself, and that is growth. And I was so proud of myself for that. Every little thing I do like that, every little extra time I talk to someone, say that extra thing, have that extra burst of personality instead of just being, a kind of a blank person. Anytime I could, vibrate high and just be a clown, be silly, that is such a W for me. That is such a W. Just feeling free enough to do that, feeling safe enough to do that. That's why I do it now. I feel safe and free to just be this version of myself. And it comes from the consistency. It didn't start here. It's becoming here. It's ending up here because consistent effort for consistent results. I've been putting that effort in. I've been putting that work in. And truth be told, it does not feel like work because it's just straight fun. I'm having fun with life now, just going to work. Just a regular day at work now is just fun because I'm like, all right, let's see what Earth School brings me. I recognize life as school now. And so I recognize it's all about learning and it's all about me progressing. So things have just been fun. And it is still brand new. And I don't know exactly what it's going to be like once I've been doing this for a long while. Once a year passes, I mean, I already know it's just going to get better and better and more amazing, but I don't actually know. But I'm going to make it that way. I'm not settling for anything less. I lived in the gutter for way too long to just settle for less, just to have mediocre vibration. I don't want to be normal. I want to be my gonzo self, Gonzo from the Muppets. That's who I am, the weirdo. I am an amazing, unique weirdo that you can't categorize. You know what I'm saying? I'm too unique for that. I'm way too unique for that. My purpose in life is to just be myself, to connect back with my inner child that I was born as, and just become, the grown-up version of that. The grown version of my inner child. That's who I am. That's who I'm resonating with right now. My name is Brian Go. I love myself. If I could love myself and love everybody and be filled, with the Holy Spirit, the love vibration, the high spiritual energy, you could do it too, because I am no different than you. No different. So, haven't had a bad day in over a month now. Wow. Will I ever have a bad day again? No. No day is a bad day, because everything that happens is meant to teach us. And it's not a bad day. It's not a bad life. It's learning. It could be difficult, difficulties will occur. It could throw you out. The worst things could happen. You could feel sad. You could cry your eyeballs out. But that's not a bad day. Reframe it. It was a difficult day, but you made it through. You learned something. You felt something. You felt utter despair. It's not a bad day. That doesn't make it a bad day or a bad life. It's you just got to reframe it into something better. It helps. It's a perception shift, It's reframing those negative thoughts. We have a choice how to think about things. Things could suck, yes, but still reframe it in a way where you're not saying that sucks. In a way they're saying that is a difficult situation, and, it forces me to prove who I am. That's the thing. When storms happen, when it's all hitting the fan, that is our chance to show, who am I really? Have I actually grown? How do I handle tough situations? What do I need to work on? Those are the things that show you that, That's why getting out of our comfort zone and all those things, all the pain and torture and suffering we go through, it's meant to help us grow. That is how we grow. It's uncomfortable. Whatever. No one said this life is supposed to be fair, comfortable, good, We make ourselves happy. This is not a default setting, This takes effort. This takes dedication. This takes daily work, you know? If you're not happy, you haven't put the work in yet, because it's not just your default setting. Maybe when you're born and you're a child, it is, but once life gets to you, you got to work at it because life is difficult. Life is tough. And that's fine. That's like, it's kind of the point. We don't want it to be. We want life to be easy, but I don't want that anymore. I don't, because I get it. I get what life is actually about now. And it's not about just having an easy life. It's actually like the opposite. It's about challenging yourself consistently so you could just keep growing every single day, you know, do those affirmations, fill yourself with that energy, with that love, with that vibration, with whatever you're trying to do. For me, it's, I want to be a happy, healthy, loving person with confidence who connects with everybody, who sees everyone as their own, everyone's my brother and sister, You might say, well, there's just people I don't like. I love my family and friends, but other people I don't really care about. I mean, okay, that might work for you, but like, I want to be as happy as possible. And I'm the happiest as possible when I see every single human without exception as a brother or sister with no discrimination. For me, and for them and you and the universe and everything. But like, for me personally, that's how I am just at my absolute best. If I'm, you know, seeing people like that. So, I'm shooting for 100%, love. Not like, yeah, I want to be kind of loving no. Everyone gets my love. Whether you're the most negative, hateful person out there or you vibrate high like me, like like I've been doing, like I do now. Um yeah, no, we shoot for the best of the best. Why not? In case you didn't realize, this life is your one shot. This is your one shot. And guess what? You're still alive. So that means you have a chance to make a comeback. You have a chance to keep growing and elevating. You ain't dead yet. Not until you die and your consciousness leaves your body and goes back to, source and God and all that. You still have a chance. You still have a chance to, learn in Earth School. So, heck yeah, I'm learning every single day. I'm getting high every single day without drugs. All I had was some coffee this morning. And if you want to buy me a coffee and support me in any sort of way, links in the description. But I love you guys. I love my 30 subscribers. I woke up and I had 30 subscribers. That's awesome. That is awesome. I am so thankful for anyone who, takes an interest in this, anyone who, finds this relevant, who finds some inspiration. I want to inspire people. I really do, because I am so inspired right now. I wanted to go to school, or I did go to school for, addiction counseling, but I never did anything with it. I lost motivation, the whole schooling. I want to share this stuff, without doing all the BS that goes along with being a counselor. Like, my internship I wasn't into it, to be honest. It was a great experience, but it showed me this isn't really what I want. It's too much. I don't know. I could connect with people in other ways. I could do it through this. It's fine. I'm figuring stuff out. Yeah. Staying amazingly incredible all the time. I want to share that. This is too good to not share. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, growth is best, when no one knows about it, or I don't know. There's some kind of quote like that, and I'm like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm sharing this. This is helping me so much. And I know if it could help me, it could help someone else. I'm not alone on. Even if it helps one person, then it is all absolutely worth it, and then some. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. But I love you guys. I love you guys. You are my brother. You are my sister. I love you. You, whoever you are. It feels amazing. I would give you a giant hug right now if you were here. But anyways, I'm gonna go have the best day ever. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm still up in the air if I'm gonna work out before work. I might just save my energy, tactical saving of my energy for a busy day ahead of me. But I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna have that energy. If you're off today, have a great relaxing day. If you're working, I'm right there with you. And yeah, whatever else is going on, we're just some humans having, or we're just some spirits having a human experience. Let's enjoy this day of Earth School and whatever it brings. All right, everybody. I love you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.